Divine Mercy Sunday, the second Sunday of Easter. We're just coming out of the beautiful Easter celebration, and we're kind of reflecting and remembering. We're hearing from the Acts of the Apostles. How does this early community respond? How do they navigate through this new terrain that they're in? And the readings that we've had this week, they run away. They leave. They're locked in an upper room. They're terrified. They can't make sense of what's going on. In some ways, it's like something in them has died also. We put all of our energy, all of our trust in this man. We had such hope. And now what do we do? And as they're locked in the upper room, Jesus comes through a locked door. My peace I give you. And yet he has wounds. The peace is not without struggle. We can't avoid the pain. We can't run away. We can't lock ourselves into an upper room. The peace that Jesus brings is peace that sometimes comes through pain. And we have to move through that pain. And we think about those painful moments in our life. Certainly one is giving birth. You cannot give birth without going through pain, excruciating pain, difficult pain, and birth is hard work. Pushing that new life into existence, that new life that's hesitating, maybe. That's hard. If you've ever had surgeries like joint replacements, you know that the pain of the surgery, the pain of the recovery is something you have to go through. You can't avoid it. If you don't push through, the joint won't work. We think of other surgeries we've had to come through and be, and I think that's kind of what Jesus is telling us or these Gospels are telling us. Sometimes we have to push through the pain. We have to feel it. We have to experience it. And then we can find new opportunities. And that's what I think Jesus is saying. My peace I give you. I'm still here with you. I'll accompany you through the journey. And there is a sense in that upper room, there's a sense of new energy, new excitement, new strength. But Thomas isn't there. And Thomas doesn't see and experience. Thomas was a believer. But he had to kind of see it and hear it for himself. And I think that message is, there is no second-hand faith. We can't believe because everyone else is believing. We have to have an experience. We have to see and touch the very presence of Jesus in our lives. We have to walk into life with our eyes wide open to see and to notice. So perhaps that's the message of the gospel for us today. In those times in our life, and certainly I think all of us are experiencing that in our world today, it is overwhelming at times. How do we not run away? How do we not lock ourselves in an upper room? But how do we stay with the community? How do we hold the tension together? How do we allow the Holy Spirit to breathe new life into us, that breath of life, as Jesus breathed to the apostles, my peace I give you, I'm here with you. How do we begin to hold that and trust that? Maybe a question for us today is, what do we need to see and touch so that we can move into a greater depth of belief? So that we can move out of the locked room of despair, frustration, anger, and bring a new way. Jesus isn't inviting the apostles, the disciples, into retaliation for the injustice that they just experienced. But he's inviting them to breathe in my peace and just hold that peace and see what other way there might be. And also to remember that we don't do this alone. We do this in community. That's why we gather every Sunday, to remember that we're not alone, to reconnect, to hear the stories anew in our ears, but to hear the stories anew as a community. How do we step into this Easter season with our eyes wide open and our hearts filled anew with the peace of Christ? How are we called to be disciples in 2023 in our neck of Southeast Michigan or wherever we are? That's the message of divine mercy. Take in the peace of Christ and reflect that peace back out, even when it hurts, even when it's hard. We push through. We push through together because we know when we hold that infant in our arms, when we walk anew with new knees, when our shoulder isn't tight because we've been able to loosen it up. That's how we know. And that's how we know when we walk together as a people of faith, as a community of disciples, the possibilities are beyond what we can think and dream. Step into this Easter season with your eyes wide open.